Hey, everybody, it's Ron Johnson, and this is the Ron Johnson Show on Locked On Sports Minnesota. Today's show, we got to talk about Jordan Addison. This is the year where, you make or break. You decide if you're going to get an extension or if it's going to be time to move on when your contract is up. Justin Jefferson, J.J. McCarthy, those are big pieces to if Jordan Addison stays, but also coming to Minnesota. Kevin Durant, we'll talk about that and much more coming up next on the Ron Johnson Show.
Locked On Sports Minnesota podcast. It's endless Minnesota Vikings talk with the diverse voices of your local experts. Now the Ron Johnson Show. On the field, in the broadcast booth, Ron Johnson is Minnesota sports. He's played with them, hung out with them, and grown up with all the big names in Minnesota sports. They're hanging out with Ron Johnson. It's the Ron Johnson Show on the Locked On Sports Minnesota podcast. And it starts now.
Hey, good people. It's a beautiful Tuesday. It did rain yesterday. Hopefully nobody got touched by tornadoes. I know there were some tornado warnings in Minnesota, but it's a beautiful Tuesday. Sun's out, birds are chirping, and the worms are trying to stay safe. But I'm Ron Johnson. This is the Ron Johnson Show on Locked On Sports Minnesota Podcast Network. My co-host coming soon is going to be Sam Ekstrom. He's our producer. He's our does-it-all guy. As you can see, and I'll explain the shirt a little bit later when Sam gets in. I yell because I care. But also, shout out to the NFL alumni. We got the hat, we got the cup. I got a Stanley coming later today. They said a Bluetooth speaker is coming. So looking forward to my NFL alumni gifts. I always love that. I got a chance to, as you see my Ravens stuff back here, I got a chance to talk to Robert Tate, former Minnesota Viking at the Vikings alumni event, as well as, man, look at this. I mean, so it's just gifts on top of gifts, but excited about that. But I want everybody to know today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. In terms of apply, and again, it's on your phone. You just download the Game Time app. That's Game Time. Sounds like it's spelled. Download it. Go to any sporting event wherever you're traveling. I love it because when I'm on the road, I don't know who the scalpers are. I don't know where I should buy tickets, but every time I've been to Detroit, it's worked. I've gone to the Pistons. I've gone to the Tigers. I went to Chicago actually with my family. We went to see the Bulls when I went to visit my friend Spice Adams, and my wife was like, hey, we should go see a Bulls game. So we went and saw a Bulls game. It works. It's safe. And you don't have to worry about fake fraudulent tickets because everything is secure through the app. And then, of course, everybody now is going digital. So when you walk up to the stadium, boop, you just scan your phone and the ticket's right there. I don't know how it works. I don't know how technology made it work, but the tickets were on my phone and they were able to be purchased. Well, as I bring my producer to the show, my co-host, Sam Ekstrom. Sam, I'll explain it. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to you. You got two young kids. Is Reggie Wilson a father yet?
He is a father. He announced it on Twitter on Father's Day. He said he became a father to a baby girl. So congrats to Reggie. That's awesome.
Okay, because I have not been on Twitter. Like I was, so all of that weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, pretty much I wasn't on my phone because we were in Missouri for a softball tournament. My daughter got invited to the Elite One invite only tournament. And so she did well. Her team, not so well, but she did well. She ended up hitting, and Sam, you're a baseball guy, so you kind of understand this. She hit 750 at this tournament. These were the some of the top 30 pitchers in the country or in the Midwest were at this event. So there was a team from Florida. That girl was ridiculous. Like the girl from Florida, for a 14-year-old, or she was a 2020. I don't know what year she actually started school because the grad years were on their shoulders. So she was a 2029 like my daughter. Sam, she was every bit of 5'9". She was throwing the ball at about 63 miles an hour, which is what a lot of younger college players throw. So this girl is a 14-year-old freshman heading into high school, is already throwing 63 miles an hour. So it was fun to see. But my daughter had no problem with any of those pitchers. She didn't strike out one time, no strikeouts. So she went an entire tournament. I think 18 at bats, no strikeouts. She ended up hitting 750. So it was a great event. She had some great catches too in center field, a couple back at the fence. No divers this time. She didn't have to dive much, but she had a great tournament. No errors in the outfield either. Everything she touched, she caught. But it was fun. But being down there, it was Father's Day. And so, of course, this is what my I got a couple shirts like this was one of my gifts. I yell because I care. It's a softball dad shirt. And the other one says, I'm not yelling. This is my softball dad voice. So it's true. It's very true. I don't yell. I just kind of, but the Vikings. So I did the Vikings tournament. And so I wore these sunglasses down there the whole time.
Yep.
And then what I didn't realize is my daughter has some, so it's so funny. They're called pit vipers and they look kind of like these, but they're not Oakley. These are Oakleys. Oakleys are way better. But, pit vipers are the cool kids' glasses now. They have the big lenses and all the stuff. Looks just like these white frame glasses. Just like, she's like, Dad, why are you wearing those? Those aren't for you. I'm like, these are for me. I can wear white Oakleys. So anyway, shout out to the Minnesota Vikings for their event. Got a pair of shoes from those, got the Oakleys. And so those are my my summer softball glasses. And so this is and then of course I'm wearing the NFL alumni hat. I got the cup. So we got all the stuff and all the gifts. It was Father's Day. And so, Sam, with Father's Day, when you think about everything, like, I thought about all the fathers out there, and I had some moments down there in Kansas City with my daughter. And I just remember my dad taking me on the road to Ohio to play baseball. And so those are the moments I always hold close to. My father passed away in 2017, 2018. And so that's what I held close to. But yeah, I definitely did not know Reggie Wilson was a father because I had not been on social media much. I had, we really were up every day she had to wake up one morning at 5:30 in the morning because she had an 8 a.m. game and the field was 35 minutes away. So, and when she has she can't drive. So of course that means I'm up with her trying to help her go find breakfast. And, we were downstairs. Breakfast was supposed to open at 6 a.m. And of course, the one day we need them, they're late. So the lady doesn't get the doors open for the breakfast until 6:20, but still worked out. Got her to the field, but she had a great tournament. So I was excited about that. We play this weekend in Minnesota, and then we hit the road to Tennessee for the World Series in I think 2 weeks. So looking forward to that as well. And then of course you got state and then nationals, and then we're done. We're back into August, and then football season has started. So speaking of football season, Sam, we are going to talk about Jordan Addison because I just found a video about Justin Jefferson, and I predicted his breakout game. So that was a Tennessee Titans game. Nobody knew Justin Jefferson could be what he is. We were supposed to be picking X factors on our show for the pregame show, and I picked Justin Jefferson. What did he end up doing? I think 175 yards and a touchdown, and the gritty that stole the world. And so I kind of called it. I was like, you know what, this kid is good. I saw him practice. I saw him in that last game. We knew there were some errors by BC Johnson as well. So we knew that it was only time before Justin Jefferson got that number 2 spot. And the Tennessee Titans game was it. And he never looked back. After that, the coach was like, whoa, we had this the whole time. And we've been having this guy sit behind these other receivers. Get him out there. And and that was the decline of everybody. It was time for Adam Thielen to possibly move on. And everybody started realizing this guy's good. I mean, kind of like the Randy Moss, I'd say. Probably when Randy Moss walked in, Chris Carter and Jake Reed and those guys. I mean, even though they're Hall of Famers, Jake Reed is a great one too. But they probably knew man, this guy's legit. This guy's legit. So when you think about that and the way Justin Jefferson is, we're going to talk about Jordan Addison. But we're going to talk basketball, Sam, because it's basketball season. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another ridiculous night. Unfortunately, Tyrese Halliburton, I don't know if you saw that, Sam, injured his calf. The way it reverberated at first, I was like, ooh, that might be some type of Achilles, but it wasn't. He went back to the back. He came back out, kept playing, but it's definitely an Achilles upper calf area muscle thingy because it did reverberate. Maybe it didn't tear, but something happened, whether it's a sprain, whether it's a partial tear. There's something because you could just tell he wasn't pushing off. He wasn't running fast. Every time he had to do a secondary move, he couldn't do it quick. When he had to levitate off the ground to lay the ball up, I watched his up and under, I think game 2 or game 3. Whichever game they tied it back up, and TJ O'Connell took over, and then Tyrese Halliburton kind of went from more right to left, and he was up. He was up at the rim. It didn't look like he could jump. Yesterday, he tried to lay it up and basically fell to the ground. And so it's sad to see that because my guess is he might not be able to go as fast as he wants to in his next game. And it's all but done. I mean, the Pacers try to. At one point, they've got it back to 6. And then the OKC Thunder do what they do, which is they just an onslaught. But when you think about that, building a team, Sam, question of the day, and I saw it on Twitter. I saw some jokes too. They're not real. Anthony Edwards did not respond to Kevin Durant. But some people are saying, oh, Anthony Edwards has something to say about Kevin Durant. He did not do that. It's fake. You could tell the font on his Instagram story is not his. But there's talks that Kevin Durant might come to Minnesota, Sam. I know we've heard the Rudy Gobert, and then we weren't happy with that. That ended up working out. We had the Julius Randle. We weren't sure about – well, I was sure about that. I wasn't sure about that. Then I was sure about that with Donte Divincenzo. I like that. Sounds like the Timberwolves don't want to give up Jaden McDaniels. I don't know if that's true or not.
Right.
But I don't know how you get Kevin Durant without giving up solid pieces of your team and making the team about, I mean, and Sam, so I'll go there. Who do you, if Kevin Durant comes, who do you think they're trying to keep on the, like, who do you think would be the team?
Yeah. Well, the report that I've seen offered Gobert, Divincenzo, and Dillingham.
Oh, Gobert.
For Durant. So yeah, so you ship off Gobert because again, NBA is funny. You got to make the salaries match in NBA trades. You can't just trade an expensive player and get only draft picks. You have to match it up. So Gobert would have to be a part of it, and then Divincenzo, who, you know, I think we assumed he'd be a big building block piece, but you know, maybe have to include him in the deal, and then probably one young player like Dillingham. So then you go forward with, and this is the mystery, Ron. You'd like to say, well, we go forward with Nas and Julius and Ant and McDaniels, but you don't know about Julius. You don't know about Nas because Nas is a free agent. Julius has an opt-out or opt-in. Like you're not sure what they're going to do. So it would be very risky to make that deal, not knowing what you have, you know, in the front court. So if that was the deal, Ron, Durant in exchange for Gobert, Divincenzo, Dillingham, what would you say to that?
Oh yeah, yes, all day. Because that's points. So Gobert is not what he used to be on defense anymore. So I think I mean, he's still good, but the way this NBA is going, today's NBA, it's a lot of like you got to look at OKC. Chet Holmgren can be guarded by Julius Randle. He could be guarded by Nas. I mean, he could be like literally Nas is probably better for him because he is a stretch five. He doesn't go down into the post. He's not a post guy. He does have post moves, but he's not a post guy. He shoots the three. Rudy Gobert is a fish out of water up there. So then it's like, well, who does Rudy Gobert guard when you play OKC? So many teams have gone away from that. Now, the Timberwolves have gotten to the Final Four twice now with this group, with a Rudy Gobert, with a Cat, Rudy Gobert with Julius Randle. But it just feels like Rudy Gobert, unless you particularly say, give him the ball, let him go to work, let's get him 40 or 30 or 25 points even, you're wasting him. Like, it doesn't make sense to have him out there because he's a liability when they do the switch. Like, he doesn't want to guard guys at the top. He doesn't want to guard Shea. He can't guard Shea. He can't guard what's his name from the Lakers? Luka. You know, so it's one of those things where Kevin Durant can guard anybody on the court pretty much. Now, he's getting older too. He's come off an Achilles injury as well. But he still can light the scoreboard up. I feel like Anthony Edwards can coexist with anybody. Now we see that. Like every year he's had to, every other couple years, he's had to try to like coexist with somebody within this team. And, you know, first it was him and karl-anthony Towns. How can they coexist? Then it was him and Julius Randle. How can they coexist? Him and Kevin Durant, I think it looks like an Olympic team. Like, I think he would find a way. Jay McDaniels, Nas, you could go big. Mike Conley is the other guard, maybe. But you could also just go, like, that big team can guard guards. Like, Jay McDaniels can guard the two. Ant can guard the point. Like, Ant can bring the ball up the court. Like, the thing about basketball is somebody has to create something different and come up with a new way. You look at the Warriors. Nobody thought that would work with all those guards and Draymond as your four. Nobody thought that worked. Everybody's like, Draymond's a three. He's not a three. He doesn't run like a three, doesn't move like a three. He's a four. He's a bruiser, but he's not tall. He's like Charles Barkley. And then they put whatever center they can find out there, and it works. There has to be a way to make that work with Nas being your center, because he's strong enough, I feel like, to guard any center. Like, nobody has a big Shaq or any, like, you don't have Shaquille O'Neal anymore. You don't have Dwight Howard anymore. Like, nobody's going to their center like, go dominate the game, big fella. You don't have that. So you can go Nas at the 5. You can go Jaden McDaniels and Kevin Durant in and out at the 4. Like, they both can be in the game. 3-4, 3-4. It doesn't matter. They both at 6'9" can guard anybody. Then you got Ant at the 2, and then you could put in Mike Conley. You probably need to go find another, point guard somewhere. Not saying get old, because I know Chris Paul and Westbrook are up to and they're trying to get out of their deals or something, but I would not go that old because you're literally got two of the, you got the oldest backcourt in the world with those point guards. But yeah, I definitely would do that. I just would, like, because at what point do you try to get over this hump? Kevin Durant got the Warriors over the hump. I feel like he can get the Timberwolves over the hump. I don't know. It's just me though. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I kind of like it. I'm liking it more and more by the day. And again, we don't know if this is going to happen or if he is even likely to happen. Durant reportedly isn't interested in joining the Wolves, but again, he's not a free agent. It's a trade situation. So if the Suns like the package, they can make the deal. I'm okay moving on from Gobert. I mean, I think that it's been successful. You can't deny that, but it's also, I think, over time, it's proving not to be a real playoff winning strategy. He's not a playoff player. And that was the knock on him coming in. And I think this past year kind of solidified that. I would still want to have some kind of rim protector on the roster, at least on the bench, someone you can go to. If you don't have Gobert, I think you need somebody. I don't know if it's Luka Garza being that person. But Ron, I'm a huge believer in Terrence Shannon. Like, if you lose Divincenzo, if you lose Dillingham, I would give Terrence Shannon the minutes. I mean, I loved what I saw from him this year. I think he can score, he can get downhill. He's proved to be a 3-point threat. Love him. I would give him 25 minutes a game and just see what happens. So I think this could work. It would be electrifying to see Ant and Durant together. Kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. Durant and the Ant. The Ants. The Durants. That's David. The D-U-R Ants. With what's that? To the second power. Ants to the second power. Yeah, I mean, like, I think it could be an exciting duo. I think Ant loves a guy like that can shoot and spread. And then again, you got a guy that can spread the floor, and he's an absolute weapon. Like, you can't, because a lot of times Ant was getting that double team zone look. You can't double team zone with Nas in one corner, Kevin Durant, because Nas can go to either corner. Kevin Durant loves that elbow three. Like, he loves that side three, like not the side, but sorry, the elbow three. He loves that kind of that diagonal three. That's his spot. Every Durant highlight I've seen, he's at the diagonal. And honestly, I don't know if it's the camera angle or just the offense. His back is always to us. Like, it's not the one on the other side. It's the one with his back's to the camera, going to his right. And he loves to, like, go to his right, shimmy back, shuffle, step back, and then he's 6'9". You can't block that. So you got him on that side. Then you got Jaden McDaniels on the other side that can shoot threes. So now you have three of your tall guys in the game that all can stay at the top. All can stay at the top. Honestly, and that's why I said that at one point. That's why I like the cat with Julius Randle. I just don't think they could coexist. But I did like that other than Rudy Gobert. I don't like the fact that Rudy Gobert can't get out the lane because he's not the guy that Mike Conley used to throw alley-oops to in Utah. It's not him anymore. He's not that guy. He misses sometimes. He kind of like has the way of, like, I don't know, like what was the game? What was the playoff game he went for 22 or 20? What game was that? Was that a Lakers game?
Gobert.
Yeah, remember he killed it.
Yep, that was game 5 to clinch it against the Lakers, and he went off for 2020 game, and that was the only great playoff game he had.
That's what I'm saying.
Finally. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like it's so far and few between at this point with the money you're paying. And if I'm Tim Connolly, like, are you going to go down with the ship with this team, or are you going to try to make it work? Now, it does sound like, now again, these are reports. These are always reports. People always report stuff. I think it was Shams maybe said that Kevin Durant does not want to come to Minnesota. I don't think that's true. But I do think it's probably like the package doesn't work or the money doesn't work. There's something to this that doesn't, or KD already has an idea where he wants to go. That's the two options. One, he already had an idea where he wanted to go. Two, he does want to, but he doesn't want to make it easy on either team. Like, he's always been that weird guy where it's like, I'm in my own world. I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I think that's the other side of this with KD is like, where is he at in this process? Because honestly, when it comes to trading, we'd have to look that up. I don't know. Does he have a no trade clause or something? I know the NBA players have a little bit more control over where they go compared to NFL players, but I just wonder that too. Like, does he really have control over if the Timberwolves are giving them the best package possible? Why not? And then think about Minnesota. You got A-Rod. You have KD, you have Ant, you got Justin Jefferson, you got JJ McCarthy. I mean, like, it's like celebrity athletic role in Minnesota from a football, basketball standpoint. Baseball, I mean, I haven't followed much. Hockey, you got Kirill Kaprizov. So, I mean, it's and then, you got Nafisa Collier with the Lynx. So you're just really like loading up Minnesota sports. For everybody to act like Minnesota is not the place to be, maybe it is. But, you have to figure out what's next for Kevin Durant. Does he have a choice? I would definitely take him with the Timberwolves. And those pieces you said giving up. And who was it again? Was it Divincenzo, Gobert, and Dillingham? I would do that. Now, because I don't understand. And was that the Timberwolves offer or was that the Suns offer? Or we don't really know.
Yeah, good question. I think that's probably what the Wolves are offering, and I think there's a pretty good source on that. I think Zach Lowe tossed it out there. I don't know if he was speculating or reporting, but I don't. That's a fair package if you're Phoenix. You're getting a big time rim protector who leads to a lot of regular season wins. It really good shooter in Divincenzo, good contract, and Dillingham, young piece, could develop. Like I think those are good building blocks. It's a fair deal if you're Phoenix. And if you're the Wolves, you try to capitalize on this this title window with Ant.
Right. Yeah, no, that's the key to this. Like you just never know what's going to happen with the way it's made up. Again, how healthy is Kevin Durant? Like, how much time does he have? I mean, he's in the LeBron era, right? So I don't know. What does he have left? 2-3 more years, maybe?
And maybe? Some people are saying that whoever gets him is going to have to extend him. He's got 1 year on his deal. So do you want to sink another couple of years of big money into someone who's almost 40? That's probably the concern.
Right.
If you're the Timberwolves, is that you would be absorbing a depreciating asset. But this is Kevin Durant we're talking about. I mean, he's still producing at a high level. And
he's not like LeBron. Like LeBron's body is older and beat up a little bit. Kevin Durant is just the Achilles. Like he doesn't bang. He doesn't go down low anymore. He's a perimeter guy that can get to the basket, get to that, mid-range, and it's unstoppable because of how tall he is and how long his arms are. He says he's 6'9". I think he's every bit of 6'10", 6'11", because when you watch him next to Boogie Cousins, unless Boogie Cousins is not 6'11", Kevin Durant is definitely 6'10", 6'11", probably. And I think the biggest thing with that too is Kevin Durant didn't want to. I Googled this. Kevin Durant never wanted to be called higher than 6'9" because he felt like at 6'10", 6'11", they would never let him play guard. And that was the key. He wanted to be considered a big guard. He did not want to be like a power forward at 6'11", because then people would be like, oh, you can't shoot. Because then you get put in that karl-anthony Towns range, or that Anthony Davis range, where they're like bulk up, play forward, He's like, no, I'm a guard. I'm 6'9". He's like Jay McDaniels. He's more of a tall guard than he is a skinny forward. And I think that's where he wants to remain. He wants to stay up at the top. The funniest thing, though, looking back still, is the fact that OKC had him, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, and they couldn't figure out how to make it work. That's crazy. That's crazy. And seeing that OKC traded for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and because they wanted Paul George to go with Kawhi Leonard. Just so many like things where you're like, man. And so that's what I wonder. Like, and I'm not, Rob Dillingham is definitely not Shai, but I don't know. Like, are we going to look back on this if they trade him for Kevin Durant and it doesn't work out, and then Rob Dillingham becomes the next Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? You just don't know. You never know. And that'd be one of those things where, is that the curse of the Timberwolves, or have they exercised that demon because they made it to the Final Four twice of the whole, like, not getting Steph Curry and getting Rubio and Flint? But, who knows? But we got coming up next, Sam's got a question for me. It's a question of the day. We'll talk about that next, much more coming up after a word from our sponsors.
Ron told you about it in the open. It's game time. Nothing like the atmosphere of a big-time NBA playoff game. We got Game 6 on the horizon. NHL, Stanley Cup Final into Game 6. Those arenas are going to be hopping. Locally, you've got Target Field, Twins, Target Center, Lynx, who might win the WNBA title. Demand is high to get into Target Center, but you can get great deals at game time. With the prices going down, the closer you get to tip-off. I really appreciate the zone deals, offering 10% off exclusive deals for FIFA Club World Cup matches. We're talking about soccer now. We got the World Cup in a year. You can take advantage of those zone deals locally as well. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
So, Sam, question of the day. Take it away.
Yeah, Jordan Addison's on my mind today. He had a jury trial set date yesterday of July 15th. So that's when the real trial will be, about a year after his accusation of driving under the influence. But he's going into year 3, could be facing a suspension, Ron. When he was healthy last year, he was super effective. I want to know from you, like, what do you think his ceiling is this year with the Minnesota Vikings? Can he take another step as the wide receiver too?
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be JJ McCarthy. Like, what is JJ McCarthy? Like, who does he gel with? And you know this, Sam. Quarterbacks come in and they have a guy. So we know, like, Stefon Diggs became the guy. You know, it was Adam Thielen at first. Stefon Diggs comes in as a rookie. Next couple of years, it becomes Stefon Diggs like show. You know, like Stefon Diggs. They were a great 1-2 punch. Let's be honest, they were a great 1-2 punch, but it kind of started to feel like it was Stefon Diggs show. Stefon Diggs doesn't want to be around anymore. He leaves. They end up drafting Justin Jefferson. It was Thielen's show for about 3 weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks. And then Justin Jefferson hits the gritty and the world's like, whoa. You got to throw the ball to that guy. And so it became the Justin Jefferson show, and Adam Thielen wanted out. Adam Thielen leaves. And since then, Justin Jefferson hasn't relinquished. And I don't think he's ever going to relinquish. It's going to be like Randy Moss, like Terrell Owens, when A.J. Brown. When you're a guy, even with A.J. Brown having Devonta Smith, doesn't matter. Like, you're still the guy. And so that's what I wonder about this with Jordan Addison is he okay playing Chris Carter to Randy Moss? Really, really good. Hall of Fame talent. But is he okay with that? Because some guys like T. Higgins, I think they had to convince T. Higgins, Joe Burrow is the guy for you. Playing with Jamar Chase is going to get you man coverage. With your size in the red zone, we promise we're going to try to do more. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know why the Bengals would extend them if they're not going to do more with them. If you're not going to use them in the red zone, move on from them. And so that's the big thing, is they were trying to figure out the movement piece of this, the setup piece of this, and what that looks like with Jordan Addison. Again, year 3, I think first round pick. So year 4, they can offer him an extension. They can pick up his option. I don't know how his contract was set. If his contract is set like every other standard first round pick, 4th year you play, then they can pick up your 5th year option. So I think, going into year 4 is when they kind of say, hey, we're picking up his option already. Like, we already know we want to keep him. We know it. You take that off the table so the agent doesn't come to you. Or do we end up in a, Stefon Diggs type situation, contract conversation where, Adam Thielen, same thing, where it's like Justin Jefferson's making $1 bazillion, and why is my guy making pennies? And so then, can you afford 2 high-paid receivers and a quarterback? Because at some point, JJ McCarthy, the next 2 to 3 years probably, if he's killing it, throwing 4,000 yards, he's going to want an extension. You got your defensive guys you're paying for. You're probably going to have to go find a Harrison Smith replacement, unless it's Theo Jackson. And so that's all the stuff that they have to do. But my expectations for Jordan Addison in year 3, I think he's a 1,000-yard receiver, no question. I think this is the year to have 2,000-yard receivers. Now, my guess is TJ Hockenson has to get balls as well. They're going to run the ball. They have 2 running backs now that are really good, Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones. Can he get there? I think that's the question. And it comes down to him. I think he'll get 50 balls. Like, I think he'll catch 50 balls, if not more. But can he make those explosive plays to get to 1,000 yards? And that's going to be the question. I don't know. What are your thoughts on his 3rd year?
Super close to 1,000, really. His first couple of years, he had 911 in 23 and then 875 last year when he missed several games with injury. Otherwise, he probably would have hit it. I think that he is that caliber of receiver we saw.
And the 911, though, that was Justin Jefferson was out for a little bit too, right?
Oh, good point. Yeah, good point. So he was filling in for a lot of games in that season. And last year, TJ Hockenson was out for a lot of games.
TJ Hockenson was out, yep.
So we haven't seen a full season of what it looks like with Hockenson, Jefferson, Addison. Right. And maybe it doesn't mean there's an uptick for Addison, but maybe the offense as a whole is even more explosive because you have all those weapons on the field at the same time. That could be really special with JJ McCarthy. But I think that the next couple of years are big prove it years for Addison to prove like the caliber of receiver he's going to be with his next contract. Like, is he going to be an eventual wide receiver 1 somewhere? Or will he always be a wide receiver 2? I mean, he could end up being in that role. There are some very well-paid wide receiver 2s. And will it be in Minnesota? Because like you said, when he's up for that next contract, that's right around the time when J.J. McCarthy would be up for another contract. So you have to kind of start being a little more discerning about how you're spending your dollar. So Jordan Addison, number one, needs to stay, squeaky clean off the field. No more legal incidents. But if he can be part of an explosive offense, a close to 1,000-yard guy this year, that's going to get the discussion started about, okay, well, is this going to be a long-term piece with you here alongside Jefferson in Minnesota?
Yeah, and you know what? I thought about, because you named Hockenson, Jefferson, you talked about, could all three. I'm thinking about T. Higgins, Jamar Chase with Tyler Boyd. I thought about Peyton Manning when he had Brandon Stokely, Reggie Wayne, and Marvin Harrison. They all didn't get 1,000 yards, but they did all get 10 touchdowns. So there is the ability to do that depending on how quick, and the thing about what people don't understand about the Colts offense was it was a run and gun. Like, they didn't huddle. If people can look back and remember that, they didn't huddle much. They kind of, loose huddle with the receivers, offensive line standing there. Peyton Manning kind of could go hurry if he wanted to. He could slow the game if he wanted to. It was under his control. I don't think J.J. McCarthy's there, but I am going to ask Kevin O'Connell one day, does he think J.J. McCarthy ever can get to that status of like Matthew Stafford, because he's had him too, of coming to the line of scrimmage and doing what he wants to do and kind of creating and understanding the offense to the point where he's running it. My guess is year 3, 4, 5 maybe, but we'll see. Are we calling this because PJ Fleck always has year 0? His first year coaching, he said was year 0 because he was coming in with a bunch of guys that wasn't his guys. Was that year 0 for Max? Or sorry, Max. Think about Gophers quarterback. Is this year 0 for J.J. McCarthy? Was that year 0 and this is year 1 actually? Like, how are we gonna pose this? But the biggest thing I'm thinking about is I think there is enough balls to go around. They had 2,000-yard receivers and 1,000-yard running back as well with Joseph Adai. So, and Edgerrin James. So they've done that with the Colts as well. So again, I'm not saying that Kevin O'Connell's going for the Tony Dungy, Peyton Manning, Tom Moore offense, but I do know that they have the weapons to do it. Whether they call it NASCAR, which means we're going fast, to keep people on their toes. The one thing I like about hurry offenses, the defense can't get set. You're going to get very vanilla calls. The defensive coordinator can't dial up a blitz. He can't dial up something exotic. That was the one reason why Peyton Manning did it, because you don't have time to adjust to what I'm doing. You have to kind of play your easiest stuff to be able to relay in without confusion from anybody. And that's the one thing about why so many teams, the Eagles, so many teams do that. After a big play, they do hurry. They get down because now you're tired, you're running down, and you have to figure it out. I don't know if Kevin O'Connell will get there, but I know he has the weapons to do it. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hockenson, and Aaron Jones on the field, and Jordan Mason, whoever is in the running back, they have the ability to do it. Are they going to do it? I think Jordan Addison is a 1,000-yard receiver. I mean, like you said, 9'11", 875, like we've seen it. He is. And so it's going to be, and I think Justin Jefferson brought this up, or somebody brought this up. we got to keep Jordan Addison engaged. I think that's the other thing. Is like, is he going to be engaged if he's at 500 yards through 8 games? You know what I mean? Or is his dad going to be tweeting pissed off and posting videos of him not being open, him being open but not getting the ball? Stuff like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that ends up screaming, trade my son, trade my son, trade my son. And eventually, do coaches look at social media and care about parents? No. But those same parents, just like Little League, they're at some point making comments to the coach, whether it's like in passing, whether it's on the sideline, they're making comments. And so people think like once my kid gets to college and pros, it changes. It doesn't change. I don't know if you saw Mia Williams, Jason Williams, White Chocolate, former point guard, his ex-wife or wife, I don't know if they're married or not, but their daughter, Mia Williams, played softball at Florida. Really, really good athlete. This year, she's transferring to Texas Tech. Her mom posted like a 2-paragraph rant on Facebook about the coach. And I'm like, your daughter's in college and you're ranting to the world about the softball World Series. They said he mailed it in. He didn't change pictures. And then he went to the portal. And she's mad he went to the portal and got 8 new girls. So, and she's like, good luck, Mia, trying to like learn her new teammates. Well, instead of her learning 8 new teammates and maybe knowing the other 10, she's going to Texas Tech and she has to meet everybody's new. So she's got to meet it's like, come on now. It's not about her meeting new girls. You just wanted her to go to maybe a bigger contender. They have a better pitcher in Najee Candidate. But hey, parents, like some of these parents don't stop at Little League. Like they keep complaining, even through college and even through the pros. We've seen it on Twitter. Tyrese Halliburton's dad just got suspended and he's back finally. It's parents are going to be parents. And when you're good enough, your parent can do whatever they want. So let's be real. If you're Michael Jordan, if you're LeBron James, if you're I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan's dad was a little bit crazy. I'm pretty sure, social media was around. We would have heard some stories about Michael Jordan's dad saying stuff to coaches or doing something. But hey, it is what it is. Jordan Addison for me, 1,000 yards. Sam, do you have a yardage goal, do you think?
Oh, I saw the line on FanDuel too. I wonder if I can bring it up really quickly and tell you what it is. I don't think it was 1,000 yards. I think it was probably about what he's had in
like 900, 850 or something over under.
Yeah, no, we're gonna find it here. Jordan Addison, there it is. And this is low, Ron. 775 is the FanDuel line.
So
now that could bake in a suspension, though. That could account for the suspension.
You're right. I forgot about that. But I'm saying that's probably banking in, though. This is the first year, unless hopefully nobody gets hurt during training camp, that they'll start the season with Hockenson, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and a really good quarterback. This is that everybody's excited about. So I think that's going to be the key to this is, and then, where does Ty Felton come in? Where does Jalen Naylor come in? Is Ty Felton going to be the quote unquote 3 that comes in and everybody's like, whoa, this guy's like Tyler Boyd, with the Bengals. Tyler Boyd was a great 3 with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And so, does that become that, because everybody starts talking about trios. You had Deebo Samuels with what's his name? Brandon Ayuk, and I forgot their third receiver. It's one of those things where it's only so many balls that can go around. But we got coming up next, we got the Daily 3. That's 3 questions. We got 3 minutes each. Got a little golf, got a little football, and of course, we got basketball. We'll do that after a quick pause. Well, now it's time for the Daily 3. That's 3 questions, about 2 minutes each today. Take it away, Sam.
All right, Ron, you touched on Game 5 of the NBA Finals last night. OKC takes the 3-2 lead in the series, going back to Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton hobbled. Ron, will there be a Game 7?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but Tyrese Halliburton, the way he was limping. Now, again, when he was out the game, the Pacers came back. Like, they were really efficient without him. TJ O'Connell, Nimhard, I think how you say it. And then Obi Toppin. Like, he's super athletic. He's a freak.
Huge out there, man.
He's a super athlete. Like, he's just his ability to dish and dive and go to the lane and his long arms. I mean, he had that layup off the backboard over Chet Holmgren with the left. Like, he's just super. And then his ability to like slash and just dunk it. Like, he is super athletic. But you can tell, Tyrese Halliburton, even when he was in, he wasn't good. And this is the superstar conversation. That's why he gets berated about being a superstar. Because they're like, in games like this, and again, part of it was injury, he disappears. In that other loss, he disappeared. And they're like, man, give us 35 in the loss. Like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to give you 30 win or lose. And that's what they're saying, like, why people didn't want to call Tyrese Halliburton a superstar. But no, I just feel like it's over. I feel like it's over. Like, they are going back to Indiana, so that's going to help. They'll have the crowd on their side. They'll have some energy from the crowd. But yeah, like and I think it's going to come down to whoever bangs that first time out. Like, whoever feels like the game is getting out of control, if they don't call it in time and it gets out of control early, because we've seen that in closeout games having just like absolute, like the Timberwolves got destroyed, blowouts where it's like you lose by 30. If you let OKC get up too fast without banging that timeout, like I'd see even 8 points, I'm banging it. Because when they get to 10, then they get to 12, then they get to 15, then they get to 18, then they get to 21, it's too late. Because now they've just knocked down like 3 to 4 threes in transition, and you're screwed. And so, I don't know, it's going to be tough for the Pacers. And they got to win 2. You got to win 1 at home, and you got to go back. But I don't think it's going to get to 7. I don't know. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think the series is over no matter what. I said this last week. The only way the Pacers were going to win the series was to win all their home games, and they didn't. They blew the lead in Game 4. And the same thing with the Timberwolves. When the Timberwolves couldn't close out Game 4 and lost, I knew that series was over because you're just not going to – it's so hard to win in OKC. It has to be a miraculous event, and the Pacers actually pulled it off. They came back from 15 down. They got Game 1. They're not going to do that again. OKC is going to win this series. I think it probably happens in game 6. If not, I love him in game 7.
Yeah, and that's the key, is who's going to step up for the Pacers now that Tyrese Halliburton most likely, I mean, he'll be out there. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to go out, miss the last game, but who's going to take over because he can't really do it. And maybe he's just a distraction. Like he stands up at the point or at the key to take a guy away and maybe just knock down open threes, but he can't move. You can see it when he's trying to drive. He could not get separation. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the ability to hit that next gear and get by you. He did not have that last night. What's the next one?
Yeah, Wes Phillips signed an extension with the Minnesota Vikings. Ron, what do you think is his biggest impact as an offensive coordinator who doesn't call the plays?
I think quarterback conversation. When I talked to him at the Gophers Pro Day, he seems to know a lot about the quarterback position. He gets in the head of the quarterback, but also he's the conduit between Keenan McCardell and the quarterbacks. He's a conduit between the offensive line and the quarterbacks. So he's kind of that guy that's like the glue. He's around all the guys. He understands the offense. He's been around football forever. Like his granddad was Bum Phillips with the Oilers. For all you young new people, the Oilers are the Texans. They used to be Houston Oilers. Now they're the Houston Texans. But yeah, his granddad was with the Oilers. His dad, Wade Phillips, was a longtime coach, and now he's a coach. My question is, Bum Phillips was a head coach. Wade Phillips was a head coach. Will Wes Phillips ever get the opportunity to be a head coach? I think that's the next step. Like, because he does, you're right, he doesn't call plays. So how can he prove, like, what's going to help him have a resume to say, I deserve to be a head coach? And I think that's why a lot of guys leave coaches like this. Like, if you're going to call the plays, how does that help me become a head coach? How does that help me get to the next step? Because Zach Taylor, was he with the Rams?
I think he was. He's part of the McVay tree.
Yeah, yep. So KOC and Zach Taylor both with the Rams, and we know McVay called the plays. So I think Wes Phillips, his role has to be something like, I help put the game plan together. I mean, he's got to come up with a resume for him to be able to be on a short list, in the next 2 years to be interviewed to be a head coach. And so, you don't want to be in that position forever. So I think Wes Phillips has a chance to be a head coach, but can KOC, I mean, I know KOC does it in the preseason too. So that's part of the resume. Like he gets to call plays in the preseason and he hands over the play calling and some of the defense. And same with Flores, like some of the defensive calls go to the other guys during preseason. So we'll get to see that too. So what's the next one?
Yeah, final one. Big Father's Day sports story. JJ Spawn in the U.S. Open in Pennsylvania at Oakmont hits a 64-foot birdie putt to win the tournament, his first major. Pretty iconic sights at Oakmont. Did you catch it? And what'd you think of the putt?
Yeah, so we were driving back from Kansas City. So I was hearing bits and pieces of it because I had, like, my kids, they read books in their, on their iPads. So I can listen to whatever I want to. And then, so my wife had like an audio book. So I'm able to like go in and out of Sports Center, go in and out of, I love NBC radio because, you'll get the Dan Patrick replays, you'll get other. So I was hearing bits and pieces of it. I honestly, when I heard JJ Spawn, I had no idea he was in the U.S. Open. Not going to lie. I had not been keeping up with it that close. I know you told me what his recent, prowess has been, like his finishing second and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. So then when I saw when we got back to Minnesota and then I started seeing like the highlights, the guy in the clubhouse clapping after the big putt and all that stuff, then I started trying to understand. So I kind of equated it to Case Keenum, like he's a guy that nobody really knows, wasn't really a high draft pick type of guy, had having great success this year. Is it sustainable? Chris Moneymaker. I don't know. You might be too young to remember Chris Moneymaker. He was the poker champ.
Poker guy, yeah.
Yeah. And so he did the one time. He kind of stuck around for a little bit, and then he was gone. He didn't stick around like Phil Hellmuth and all those guys that were kind of superstars in the sport. So that's where, you think about JJ. And yes, people, I did call poker a sport. It's on Sports Center. Don't try to come for me with that. It's not a sport though. I know that. But when you look at JJ Spawn, I think that was huge. Like that putt alone, like the undulation, the turn. And again, long putts like that, though, you're just trying to get it close. Because that's what I was asking you is like, if he misses that and he has to 2-putt to tie, then that's a tight putt. 3-putt to tie or 4-putt to lose, you got a little bit because, if you blow it by. So I think he had the putt as if like, I just want to leave this short. I don't want to blow it by the hole. And it just was short enough that it kept going and kept going and kept going. He made it. And he had a perfect read on it. That's the one thing too, by them playing rounds on like Monday, Tuesday, or whatever, Wednesday even probably. They get a chance to putt every green, every spot. They get to play as a twosome, threesome, foursome, and they get to learn, and their caddies taking notes, because obviously they're little notepads of like, oh, okay, on 17, if I'm on this part of the green, it's going to do this. Like they get to have all that stuff. Like I wish I could do that, where I got to play first and then take notes and then come back and play for real. And so you get 36 holes. That should be, if a course ever came up with that, you pay for 18, but you get to play first. And then but you can't play slow. You just got to hit shots and go. No looking for balls. Just go, put every hole, one putt them, and then move on to the next hole. I was like, that'd be great. And then the second time through, you take your time and you play your game. I love that. But I think it's huge. I think it's huge for the sport, Sam, but because it kind of shows that, you know what? Anybody can have a great day and win. And that's the one thing about sports like golf. Like basketball is usually just the best of the best. But guys in golf, like he just had himself a day. And he was on and he got down to it. But it wasn't, I know they're going to make that putt dramatic, like the Tiger. Like it's never going to be Tiger Woods. It's never going to be any of that stuff, because it wasn't for the win. It was 2 putts and you still would have won. So if you got that close, you still win with the tap in. But it does add to the videos later. I don't know, whatever sponsors are going to come through, and use that clip. It's going to be great for him. But I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, it's cool to see a guy's life change in front of your eyes. Like JJ Spawn, no one really knew much about him coming into this year. Then he had the big performance at the Players Championship, almost beat Rory McIlroy. And then to do this in a major, now we know who he is. We got to see the emotion. We got to see the tears in his eyes. We got to see his family hug him on the golf course. Like that type of stuff kind of bonds you to the golfer. And now I'm going to be more interested in seeing how his career plays out. Is this a one-hit wonder? Correct. Or is he going to do more with this? Because if you get, it's like winning Super Bowls, right? We've got a lot of one-hit wonder quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls, but if you get number 2, that's a big solidifier for your legacy.
That's what I was wondering. Is this the last time we'll see of him? Or is he going to continue to push himself in that top 5 and always be right around making the cut, being right in there, pushing the leaders? Because I mean, like you said, he's in his mid-30s, right? So he's not a 20-something-year-old young guy that, Jordan Spieth and all that stuff, and we're going to see him for a while. This is a guy that's, kind of older. Nobody really knows him. And, can this be sustainable? But I'm Ron Johnson, Sam Ekstrom. We want to thank you guys for joining us today. Hey, we got a surprise for you guys next week. We're going to sit down at some point and talk to Max Brosmer, but you know what? There's another Vikings quarterback we really have to talk to. Donte Culpepper is going to join us. So looking forward to airing that for you guys next week. We'll probably put some teaser clips out, but anytime you can talk to Donte Culpepper, he threw the ball to Randy Moss. I mean, come on now. It's fun conversations, but he has a son playing football right now as well. So I want to talk to him about the scope of NIL, how much he would have made in college, because, being at a smaller school, would he have gotten the big bucks as well with that? Or would he have hit the portal? And I'm looking forward to hearing that one, because I feel like probably would have hit the portal, but we'll see what he has to say about that. But I'm Ron Johnson, Sam Ekstrom, and thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Just need the email address on your phone. It's free, and you'll get all of our content every time it updates. And thank you guys. Have a great week.